Hello, all, and
Talk.
welcome back to Coward's Call. Today with me we have Michael as Thorin, Jaden as Felocial, Eli as Gunny, and we have Frankie as Dara. I am the Dungeon Master and every other character, Grandine, the Master of Fate. When we last left off, our party had been exploring a mining cave that had been hollowed out in the base of the Great Plateau, dug into a shallow iron deposit at the behest of Rosemarie the blacksmith to clear out an infestation of large spiders. After fighting several swarms and multiple giant spiders, who had been using especially clever traps and tricks to lure them into unsatisfactory fighting conditions, to say the least. The party finally managed to clear all of the visible spiders from both the mining area and the deeper, more hidden cave. Now they are before a large structure they have discovered, covered in a thin webbing layer made of old gray and red stones, emblazoned with a spider insignia. Does anyone have any questions right away?
Yeah, how allowed are we to do puns on stream?
Very.
Well, I will say Rosemary is the type of person I'd like to spend some time with to really spice up the afternoon. I'll mute myself now.
Dory, I have a question.
Oregano. Yes?
Does that hit Gunny?
Oh my god.
It does, but
I'm not actually no,
yeah.
but
Just like punch him like
now
a
within
normal
5 feet,
person.
it's at disadvantage. I think that still hits.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does. Anyway,
So, should we enter in? I'd like to roll a perception check to see if there are any entrances.
okay.
Actually, investigation.
All right.
Well,
Ooh.
there's nothing.
Uh, it looks like the big slab that the spider emblazoned on, the spider symbol is a mosaic of small chips of darker stone, by the way. Could potentially
Um,
move if you push it hard enough, which brings me to the structure is a pile of vaguely cubic chunks of granite and basalt, shaved and smoothed down style of mortarless brickwork.
can I do a thingy?
Yep.
I want to do religion check.
Okay.
What
That's
what
smart.
would be this shrine? 11.
It could be to Lolth, the Spider Queen. It could be to just spiders in general. There are some sect of Pan that worship monsters in particular, or large beasts. You are all currently standing at least 10 feet away from the thing at the moment, by the way. None of you, until you like say in character that you're going to approach it, none of you have approached it yet.
I am fully
I have
aware
a
of that.
feeling we should not approach it then, since Jory said that.
Um, can I do an investigation? I know I'm not good at it, but I want to see if there be traps.
I'm also
Yeah,
going to
that's
say the
true.
building is pyramid shaped, but if you cut top of a pyramid and also the corners, so
It's
the
a
top,
ziggurat.
yeah, kind of. So the top of it is about 15 feet off the ground and a flat surface with the pillars jutting from the top of it that are broken off in various places.
Are you guys
Yeah, never
getting
mind.
the weird, like, slight cutout from
I am.
Jones, by the way? Okay, so.
Oh, do I need to repeat anything?
No.
We've heard everything. It just randomly, like, there's a buzz, and then all of a sudden you're way quieter, and it works its way back to normal. I don't know if something's up with your headset wire or something.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
been plugged in for hours, so it should be at max battery, but I will plug it back in again. Anyway,
Oh, if it's
Um,
Bluetooth, I don't think it would be that type of thing then.
Well, I suppose I should ask, should we take a rest first, or are we all good and healthy?
I've got
I
4 hit points.
I took a bit of a hit, but I'm still hale and hearty.
I'm still good. Does anybody need some healing?
Is there something?
Dara has
Sure.
4 hit points.
Is there
I-
something
you
that I
know-
missed for some reason?
I love
I'm
some
at
healing.
max HP currently.
We took a long rest during last session.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
the
did
fight
we?
Yeah,
against the
then we
spider
came.
Yeah.
Then
was...
we came back.
We did, but then we fought more spiders, which would
Oh
explain why.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I
but the
also
spider swarms
fell
were
a-
super easy.
Yeah.
Fell a certain amount of
So that's
feet.
why I'm.
That was
okay.
before the long rest.
But brothers, which one of you needs my aid?
I don't know. Did I forget to take a long rest last session?
No, you didn't. You were just up front during the fight with the spiders and took more damage. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
I believe your satyr companion could use the healing.
All right,
Yeah.
goat friend, come hither. I will give you strength. I pump in
Be
4 points of lay
fabulous.
on hands. I still want the 1 in case if someone dies.
Fair enough.
All right.
There. Now you are strong, and we will defeat these arachnid beasts.
Ah, well, go right ahead.
I have nothing to fear.
All right.
I approach. I'm waiting for the spider to jump on me.
Yeah.
From the outside, a simple but clear style of mosaic design is visible, which depicts the form of a large spider bound in chains and encased in rock. There are also markings that appear to be some form of writing that
Yeah.
are partially chipped and cracked.
Wait, what language is it?
Hold on, I'm not quite done. The ground in front of those parts of the structure are covered in jagged chips of stone, which are themselves covered by a thin sheet of webbing. 2 pickaxes, one worn and dulled near to the point of uselessness, and the other with a long crack down the handle, are similarly discarded in the heap closer to the cave-in, and indeed are partly buried in the gravel and silt that has been spilled into the cave from above.
What language is it? If we would know.
Dwarvish.
Oh.
Oh,
Hi. I know
I-
that.
I do not.
What
This
doth it
language is a mystery to me, but I shall venture to the. Actually, one of you read this. Something tells me.
I go up to read it.
We're playing D&D, for goodness sake. Get in character.
Several words are cut out, but I will post in the chat.
I would like to. After I'd
How
note all this
wonderfully not
down in a
helpful.
boat. Note this down in like a piece of paper or something. Do
Yeah.
I have that actually, or does
could
someone have that?
Eh,
on the little pieces on the floor, is there any writing closer?
Not that are still. Basically, they've been broken in a
Oh,
way
you-
that makes them illegible.
Okay.
Some of the
Well,
pieces have shattered to dust.
Small shards.
Mhm. And it's like kind of like collapsed in itself.
You would
The
have to.
entire thing.
There is a crack on this face that you could see, and there is a lot of like silt and gravel and small to medium-sized rocks that have spilled out from the walls and onto the floor here. But in order to further investigate the damage, you would have to like go up to the top of it, as well as you got a brief glimpse through Rascal's eyes from above, but like you can't see from this
Oh,
angle.
I send them up to look above there.
Okay. There are 5 pillars that are mostly intact, although the one towards the back on the left is partly buried in the wall. There's one that has fallen over, and then there is a large boulder that has fallen onto these long, flat flagstones. And there is a crack running through the center of the structure that has burst open several of the flagstones. few feet wide in its widest area. Definitely wide enough for like a medium creature to slip through.
That's
Well-
alarming.
In addition to the flagstones, contrasted against the dark speckled granite are small piles of sand. 3 small piles near 3 of the pillars, as
Wait.
well as a glint of metal that you would have to get closer to examine.
Me likey the shiny.
I would like to actually examine the sand myself.
Okay.
Thorin's gonna
Um,
try to work on this
It's
wording stuff
ascend-
still.
Okay. Ascending the structure to the top reveals the large flat flagstones of heavy bedrock that were used to top off the cairn, as well as the ugly crack. Blah, blah, blah. You've already gone through that.
The sand. I'd like to compare it actually to something. I'd like to compare it to the sample of deer bits I took.
So you reach into your pack and you open up this little baggie that you were keeping from session 0 when a
Yeah.
party of ravenous deer. I'm explaining for the audience. When a party
I
of
don't care
ravenous
about the
deer
audience.
attacked the attacked the group on their way in, they seemed crazed, possibly rabid, starving, and as you defeated them, some of them began coughing up this strange, dark black reddish sand, and a couple of them seemed like they should have already been dead before the fight began. And in fact, as you take out this baggie where you had collected some of the some samples of parts of the deer to examine later, the baggie contains nothing but thin, pale sand.
Okay. Is it similar?
Yeah, it looks exactly the same.
Hmm.
And also, as you are examining the piles of sand closer, that metal glint is a small pair of shackles.
Is it magical? Because I still have that detect magic going.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh,
Old chat.
although with your detect magic going, as you get up to the top, there's a fuck ton of magic glowing from inside the crack of this structure. All of it is of the abjuration and enchantment schools.
Abjuration. That's interesting. Well, there's a lot of magic in there, and the sand is kind of like what we found in the deer. We should be cautious, but I think that OC should stand guard out here in case any spiders crawl their way over.
Yeah.
Yes, I will keep an eye out. There's certainly plenty to be wary of. He's sort of like kicking over little rocks and poking at particularly dense areas of webbing with his greatsword. So,
One of
those
us
of
should
you with
have
dark
rope.
vision, and as I think Gunny is the light source right now.
Yeah, I put
the
on
light
the
whatever.
thing.
The point is, you would stick a light source in before you would climb down, and you would notice that there's like a 10-foot drop. It's a chamber.
Oh, I just have to dangle myself off the edge and let go.
Well, we
Anyway,
need a way back up is
I'm
the
ju-
issue, so...
under the outer layer of carefully cut and arranged stone is a more haphazard dome of hardened mud and large rocks that has partially collapsed into the room below. And in the depths of this musty tomb is a harrowing sight. The body of a huge spider, easily 4 meters wide with legs long enough to span an entire city street, lies curled up, nestled in a dense, dark web. Closer examination reveals a crack in the spider's abdomen, and that the body is actually a hollow exoskeleton, a shed husk.
Hmm.
Tucked on the walls and taking up nearly all the rest of the space, then, are large divots in the web. 3 huge empty semi-spheres, the size of pumpkins, lay in tatters, surrounded by dozens of clutches, each of at least 100 smaller broken orbs. Nothing inside the structure moves. Whatever was trapped here is not anymore. Under the thin gossamer webbings, lit up in the eyes of Felocial, are thousands and thousands of small dwarven runes of power carved into the walls, all arrayed in neat lines, all with a singular purpose: to bind and contain.
Um, No, actually, I'm gonna roll a nature check for this one before I put in my expertise. Nope, never mind. I can't do that. Spiders have many legs. Now, I have a question. Why, big spider shell, small hole. Big spider shell, small hole. How?
Roll investigation. From your current vantage point, you said you were climbing partially into this tomb.
Yeah.
So from your vantage point, you do notice one additional thing, which is that several of those dwarven runes carved into the ceiling of this space were carved into the densely packed dirt and mud that had been used as makeshift mortar, and they have nearly all been scratched away. Looks like scratch marks from inside the tomb.
So
And
probably the spider.
But
Great.
that doesn't answer the question. Big
I
spider,
mean,
small hole.
in the exoskeleton, I assume is what you mean.
How big spider leave this place when there's only small hole?
Like
I
a
mean,
hole in
it's
the
a
wall?
pretty big hole.
would
Is
everyone
it?
like to make a nature check?
I
I mean,
tried.
Oh.
I can do that,
Because
yeah.
I know exactly what the answer is, but I can't say it because I rolled a 4 on my nature check.
Do you mean because like
Don't know
where we
anything
about
entered is
spiders.
small?
Dara, would you like to
Yeah.
make a nature check?
I know exactly what happened, but I'm not allowed to because that's metagaming. Actually,
I
that's
mean, I
not.
assume that spiders can compress themselves like they've been doing this entire time.
No.
A little bit, but it's very difficult with an outer exoskeleton. But Dara, you would know that immediately after molting and leaving behind an exoskeleton, a spider is much more flexible, although it leaves them vulnerable for a time.
Mm,
Oh, that's not
okay.
even what I was guessing.
Wait,
I
hold
mean-
on. Sorry, you go.
Like, oh, I was gonna say my guess was that baby eat mama,
Mm,
Ah, that too.
because that's
I don't believe so.
Some do that.
because no nutrients in there except
They're-
for big spider
they
that just
get
molted.
they get squishier
Well,
when they molt.
are there any other passages out of here?
Not anymore.
Hole in the
Okay.
wall. All right, great.
I guess I'd like to look around and see if there's anything cool in here. So I'll just investigate. No, there isn't. How with a 9? Is there any more of that sand in here?
I will let you re-roll your investigation check when you are more specifically looking for any of that sand or anything.
Okay, I'll do that, yeah.
Nope.
Nope. Not on my side.
I have a -1 and I got an 11. I will say what I'm looking for. I'm looking for any runts that haven't left the nest.
No, but as you're like poking around the smaller eggshells near the edges of the nest, I will say that Gunny will find red stains, dark red stains that seem to seep out of the muddy walls.
But it can't be blood. Blood dries brown.
I mean, is it dry?
I don't know. I stick my finger in it.
It is slightly moist.
I will give it a taste to see if it
It's
tastes.
blood.
It's jammed.
Then whose? Spiders. I'm personally not a spider expert, but I had no idea they bled red.
I forgot that dinner's ready.
Oh, okay.
BRB.
There was an earthquake
surprised.
recently, right?
So Felociel would say that out loud, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Thorin would know that the quake happened in mid to late winter, and the spiders emerged as winter finished and as spring began.
Wait, hold on. We've killed a few spiders. What was the color of their blood?
It was more of an ochre.
Okay. Wait, so this is coming from the wall?
Yeah, from the mud of the dirt wall inside the tomb. I'm also going to
Seeing if I-
say I'm not going to make you roll or anything for climbing in and out. You can
Yeah.
just do that. It's fine.
I
Set up a
will-
rope.
I want to move away a bit of the dirt where the blood's coming from.
It is packed pretty tight, but
Does anybody have one of those picks? Dull will be fine. It's just dirt.
I
It
have a
doesn't need to
small
be
knife.
It doesn't need to be sharp. It's dirt.
I would also like Felocial to make me an Arcana check. I couldn't find a good point to include it, but I just want you to...
15.
Okay. A lot of the mud, especially in the lower layers, and some of the stones along the outer layer, bear the telltale striations and stress patterns of dirt that has been moved with the Mold Earth spell. Anyway.
Only I had that. Wait, do I have that? No, I don't.
As you start to dig away at the dirt, several cracks begin to shoot up these walls, these fragile walls, and drier dirt and small pebbles begin to rain down on your head. And you put the pickaxe away because you get the
Yeah.
feeling that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That was my exact reaction as well. Well, it doesn't seem there's anything good down here besides the knowledge of big spider is out there, and
Yeah.
I personally
Dust
do
stuff
not
is
wish to
also
meet
here.
it.
And also the walls that are bleeding were moved with the magic. That is quite...
Can
Interesting.
spiders learn magic?
I mean, maybe,
mean,
but
if
I don't think
one
that's
had to
the...
be magically bound here.
Diabolical! We're after magical spiders.
Well, okay, I imagine...
No, nope.
No, no,
need
no,
to
no,
explain. I understand. Despite
No,
my
you don't
appearance, I am
understand.
quite intelligent.
Well,
You have a
I'm
negative
sorry,
one.
Gunny, but I'd like to help you out.
All right, but
Now,
I think
have
I
to
have.
say...
I think I have it fully understood. Magic spiders.
I believe
Big-
that the spiders had some help.
Who would help spiders?
The drow,
Goodness.
dark
this-
elves.
Now, hold on. That's a whole nother issue. That seems
Well,
a bit racist.
You have
It
to think
was-
of what kind of spider this must have been too, considering it
I
was
told you.
magically sealed.
I told you, magic spider. Big one.
Gunny, you have a very limited view of the world.
I disagree. I saw the world when I was sailing. It was.
But you never saw what lies beneath.
I've seen sea creatures.
Not beneath the land.
I once I saw a kraken once, not close up. We didn't want to go near that. Some other ship got snagged by him. We're like, screw this, we're out.
Well, the drow, they typically worship Loth, the spider queen, I would imagine. If anyone
that's
is to
not
blame, it would
nice.
likely be that. It's not nice. They aren't nice people.
Well, how do you know? Have you met the drow?
Yes, briefly.
Well, then you've only had a taste. Come now, I can't.
There are
I personally
countless
don't know.
historical accounts.
History's not my strong suit, but if you want to tell me what's better, snapper or tuna, call me, cause
Which is better, actually? That is
that
useful
actually
information.
depends, depending how you serve it, cause that's a tricky
Why are we
question.
talking about this?
I don't know. You were saying something
That's
about
fair.
big magic spiders.
Okay, the point is, I imagine that whatever let the spider out had help. Because, remember those deer?
Yeah, not a lot of meat on them.
Um,
Oh, you think
I've
the
found
magic spiders did that?
Maybe. I imagine that. Well, I
Uh,
found some similar substance around here.
I would like Thorin to roll a flat intelligence check.
Nope.
All right, you have nothing to contribute to this conversation at the moment.
Unless there's anything living down here.
I don't know, but I almost want to bring back a bit of that spider. I'm curious
Oh, yeah, sure.
if
I'll-
big spider tough.
Can I take a bit as well of
What are you
spider?
gonna use to try to break this exoskeleton?
I have a small knife that I'm gonna kind of like cut in with it. Does it not cut?
Make a strength check.
Actually, can I use that magic dagger that I found?
Yes.
Wow.
You managed to make a very slight scratch in one of the legs.
Really? Even if it's magic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me.
Can you try and
what
like
bit-
crack it over your leg?
Hold on. I'm deciding what I want to take, cause I almost want to see if that lovely rosemary can make a piece of armor out of it.
I
How
don't
big is the
think we
spider?
can shape it.
It is a few horses across. The body itself is 4 meters from the head to the tip of the abdomen.
Does this
How
look
much-
like you could make something out of it?
You
You're the
could
blacksmith
incorporate
expert.
it into something, but I don't think you'd
I
actually
mean-
make something out of it.
Yeah.
You could maybe like
Have you-
take a nice piece that would fit somewhat nice and put it into a breastplate, but you couldn't actually like form it.
I
The
was thinking
abdomen
more-
specifically is nice and curved. It could theoretically be, or thorax.
I mean, it's a bit big.
the rear part. Yeah, but you could like
no.
slap a bit on a shield.
That makes
That's
it a
the
nice,
point
that
I
makes
was
it a
getting
nice,
at.
gentle curve because it's so big.
Yes. Now I want to take my great club, because you said there was a slit in the abdomen.
Yep.
Okay. I want to smack it on the side to take off a nice curved piece. Basically, just breaking it off from where it's already been broken.
All right. Make an attack.
All right.
All right. You bring down this great club on the crack of this to try to extend the crack out, and you do manage to make the crack widen a decent bit. And with a like mighty, satisfying, shuddering snap, it begins to split down the middle.
Ooh, do any like little bits come off of it?
Nope. And as you begin to put your hands along the edges of it to try to pry it apart, the entire form starts to slowly, very almost imperceptibly, knit itself back together.
How about
What?
we leave?
Yeah, I don't mess with magic spider. Not even magic spider shell, I suppose. I'm gonna climb out of here. And I just
Yeah,
walk away.
I bring Dura
Make-
and do the same.
Make a perception check, both of you, as you are leaving.
Perception.
The red like mud that had been seeping just at the very edges of this cairn has dried up and gone pale gray.
That's concerning. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I personally do not like that. It sucked the red out of the blood. I'm out. I have
Yeah.
blood in me. I do not want to suck the red out of my blood.
So, are you coming?
We leave.
Yeah.
I'm also
gonna take-
just I'm just gonna tip my hand a tiny bit. Velociel, can you just make another just intelligence check, just a flat intelligence check?
That intelligence. Okay. No, I don't think I know
Okay.
much.
All right.
Can I make a flat intelligence check?
I mean, you can. You can try. Nope. No.
No,
Alright.
let us leave.
You
Before
climb
leaving,
back.
I'm gonna give a leg a smack or something with my hammer, and then
But
quickly
don't do
run to the
that.
exit.
Okay.
I quickly start running up more because I don't
Yeah.
want my blood to
Hey,
turn
I
gray.
miss. Probably.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You
thank
crunch one of the bigger eggshells.
I'm too focused on getting ready to run away that I just slightly bounce off it and run.
Don't
crumbles to
anger the
dust.
magic spiders.
You head back down the cairn to Coward at the bottom, and he's sort of like, so do we know what's going on?
Magic spiders, we are leaving.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
leaving.
take
Oh.
one last look at this with like the chains and stuff and see if I can make out
I
what
physically pick up Thorin by the back of the collar.
Cool.
And just start carrying.
I'm still looking at it.
So the image of the spider is stylistically bound in these overly large chains and a depiction of like a rock encasing it. It's stylistic. There were literal actual
And
metal
then the actual
shackles
shackles
on
on top too.
the top in the piles of dust. All right, so y'all begin climbing out of the crawling cavern.
I think
cave,
that
whatever.
was successful-ish.
I am just glad we did not see that big magic spider.
I mean, we killed all the spiders, I think.
But they weren't magic. I did not want to mess with a magic one.
That's true. I mean,
The
they were
land
probably
is
little
weird.
magic.
The most
So-
magic thing you find out in sea are mermaids. And they are foul creatures.
Really?
Ugh.
Suppose that means this isn't over.
Mm-hmm.
We have other things to do. But all the eggs were hatched, right? There weren't any intact ones?
Correct. There were 3 large pumpkin-sized eggshells and several hundred smaller ones, but all of them
Okay.
were empty.
The cave is cleared of spiders, but there's still the giant spider out and about somewhere, not in here.
Well, that's duty for another time.
As you are heading up to the surface, because it was like morning, and then y'all spent a while down here, and then you took a long rest, and then you took a while longer, it is now like late evening, sun is starting to set, it's getting a little bit dark out. Most of the area is bathed in long shadows of the forest as you begin heading south along the edge of the Great Table towards the center of town, and you hear a commotion.
God damn
And
it,
by a
it's spider.
And by a commotion, I mean loud screaming.
We should probably deal with that.
I start sprinting.
Thorin, any, yodeling festivals this time of year?
Actually, Thorin, you will know that the screaming is in Dwarvish.
Hey y'all.
How is screaming in a language? It's screaming.
Oh. Somebody
Oh, it's
screaming?
It's a feminine dwarven voice, sounds
Oh,
fairly
it's her.
elderly, screaming many obscenities in the
Oh.
center of the town as
It's-
you are
Because
running
the
back.
obscenities part is the reason
It's
for
Rosemary.
It's Rosemary, yeah.
Rosemary.
Oh, there was a giant fucking spider in there.
I knew it. I didn't want to leave because I knew that there would
We
be
didn't
combat.
fight it. We didn't fight it. It's not in there, but its skeleton was, so yeah.
There was the
Exos-
molted exoskeleton of a
I was
giant
there
spider.
for that.
Yeah,
I
it
told
started
you
it
about
started
this.
putting itself back together and we were like, "Nope, we're getting out."
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, we tried.
Yes,
Gunny,
giant.
Gunny tried breaking it, and then it slowly started mending itself, which is weird considering it's an old exoskeleton.
There was also blood.
Yeah.
There was
That too. There's blood on the walls.
noticed- Yeah, I was there for the blood walls.
Magically reformed, something like that. Anyway,
There
let's
was
see
blood
what.
in my underwear. You know.
Anyways, we
Let's-
probably have the spider
Let's see
in
what the
town
old
now.
coward's bitch wife is yelling about.
Wow.
As you
Sounds
are
like you need a
running,
smacking.
as you are running along the road back to town, several figures, human, half-elven, a couple of halfling, mostly human, are running away past you, and you see Rosemarie on the horizon, sprinting full pelt towards you, cursing in Dwarvish all the way.
Oh, you. We were looking for you.
Spider, 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 spider!
Ooh, spiders.
Don't
Uh,
worry,
Oh,
Rosemary.
She is past you before you can blink. And then
Well,
And now me and her are passing each other because I'm a dwarf and also and I'm slower
Something
than
like
the
that.
group.
oh yeah, she's slower than us. We blink and she's just passing us.
and now,
she's
before we
dashing.
can blink,
She's
there's
dashing,
a big spider.
Blinking is still faster than 6 seconds, Jory.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a big one.
it's a big one.
It's the
Roll
big
initiative.
magic spider.
Alright. Yeah.
Does it seem like the one big enough for the thing, or does it seem like a
Does
different
it?
one?
It's not 4 meters
Initiative.
across.
Oh, this is not even the biggest one yet. Neato.
Makes sense, there was a third egg. I was
Oh,
wondering.
there's the pumpkin ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot it
D-
had babies.
Didn't we already fight?
We fought 2, not 3. I was wondering if she had taken care of one, but
Babies grow
she
up.
evidently. Ooh.
Yeah.
Was that a big one? Suppose I should crack out my good shit for it.
Why is it only when we're on
Alright.
stream is when we decide to swear like sailors?
That's the.
We can't
what?
help
That's
it.
the
Hold
only
on.
time.
All right. Big spider time. Dun 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 dun
All right.
da da da
What's your
da
Oh,
da.
wait, I know what I need to do for this one.
I don't need to move because entangle goes like 90 feet, but I'll go like there. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna entangle. I hope it works.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I
Um,
want it.
I'd have to
So
make a
yes,
strength save.
he's
Oh, like the area is 20 feet
I am
ish. Yeah.
I am going to say as you like bend down and bring forth the power of nature through the ground to call up these plants to do your bidding and entangle this
Sorry.
monster. You feel something pass through your palm, this cold shiver, as you touch the ground just for a moment, before, as you commanded, these roots and tangling weeds and vines crawl up through the cracks in the cobble pavement and wrap around the legs of this giant spider, restraining it in place.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh yeah, that's really good. Thank you. It's my turn.
Felociel,
I'm gonna try and force the royalty component on other people. There
Nope.
it goes.
you end up paying the money.
I pay. Well,
These 3 bolts of force shoot out and pelt into this thing, and they actually cave in its exoskeleton in various places. It is shambling, and it seems real fucked up. It has splatters of that ochre seeping out of it. But as you watch, it does still begin to move. Thorin,
Okay, so you almost killed it.
5,
I might have
Got it real
actually
close.
killed it. That's the issue.
20. Okay.
I'm hoping that
Oh,
it's
wait.
only like mostly
Uh,
dead
I
and
throw
not
a hand axe
died and came back.
at regular throw because it's at the disadvantage throwing range, but advantage because restrained. So even out to a miss.
Something is amiss. Haha.
Old Coward is going to dash to get up there and put himself in the way of this thing. but he is not quite able to actually make his way up to it. The giant spider
Howard,
on
no.
its turn raises itself higher on its legs, and you watch as that ochre blood begins to very slowly congeal and stop its bleeding.
It's
Well,
regenerating.
that's fucked up.
Dripping from its fangs and, well, mandibles, you see bright red crimson that, before your eyes, fades to a dull gray dust that slows away in the wind. And then it's going to make that strength check.
I
Yeah.
think we found the dust problem.
And that's
out.
its action. So this is something. Maybe not the cause, but part of
Nope. It's fine. Or it's still bound. I mean.
it. Okay.
Yes.
So
Jenny.
it can't move,
So entanglement is real helpful.
and its attacks have disadvantage, and has disadvantage on dex saves.
Gonna put myself on the front line and wait.
That's 30 feet, right? 50 minus 20 is 30. Okay, I'll try and burn it.
You blast it in the face with this little point of flame, and it sort of shudders on its feet for a moment before just kind of giving up, and it falls over dead.
Awesome.
Give us some of that EXP.
That sweet, sweet EXP. That exp.
So I'm
The
gonna.
X.
A coward ran up to it and was gonna join the combat, but ended up not being necessary. So I'm just gonna pretend he didn't.
Excellent.
Each of you gets 100 experience points.
Woo!
Okay.
Which is, for the record, not just for the last spider, but also for completing my dungeon. Did you see? There was blood on its fangs. Someone's injured, and he is going to take off down the road, back towards the town ahead of you.
I am also
Oh.
sprinting, but I'm a
Yeah,
dwarf,
that
so
makes
I'm a bit
sense.
slower
I'm gonna
than
go in
everyone
the
else.
other direction towards the people who ran away to try and inform. Well, actually, first, does it look like there's anything else in town?
Roll me
Yeah,
a
any big
perception
spider?
check.
Okay.
Actually, just all of you roll a perception check.
Okay.
That means there's something to see.
I mean, I got a 21.
All right,
Ooh.
yeah,
so-
Gunny sees it immediately. There is something peculiar about this spider compared to the rest of them. Written in a dark red liquid on the back of the spider's thorax, abdomen, the big round part,
Yeah. It's the butt.
I
It's
think that's
badonka
is-
donk.
thorax.
is a large sigil.
Oh.
See?
Can I make an
What did
Arcana
I-
check to see if I would know what the? Wait, is it magic?
What did I
Uh,
tell you? Magic spider. I called it.
So your ritual detect magic expired on the way as you were climbing out of
Cool.
the
I
cave.
cast it as an action.
All right. There is. It's quickly fading, but there is definitely a glow of magic around this sigil. Necromantic.
Ooh.
What
That's
did I
always
tell
good.
you?
And also, with a 21, Gunny, I'm going to say you notice that there are clear finger markings in the blood. Human finger markings. Well, humanoid.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not a spider.
And is there any of the sand?
The blood that was on the spider's mouth parts has faded into more of that dusty sand.
So these are
Um,
turning blood to sand.
Somebody is doing finger painting on these giant magic spiders. And whoever is responsible for the sigil is the one we're after. Because they must be organizing the spiders.
Maybe.
The
Oh.
magic spiders.
So who's going after the victims to meet up with them and ask them, and who's going after Coward back towards the town?
I'm going with coward.
I guess I mean, I'm going with coward most
Oh,
likely
wait, I have an
anyways, but,
idea. I
did
pull out a
happen
piece
to
of part.
see, my wife run past.
Oh, you have a wife? Interesting, this is the first I've heard of it.
You have a wife? I thought you were gay.
No, I don't feel like she would be one of the ones who ran past.
Okay.
Oh
So
boy.
can I do
he's just-
something?
so yeah, he's definitely sprinting it towards the city then, since he didn't see her. But there was the
I'd
spider
like
there.
I would like to send. I'd like to like roll up a piece of parchment and like. Well, I'd like a piece of parchment and I should have
Yeah.
some paper on me. Yeah, I have parchment, and I'd like to write on it. The threat is neutralized. You can return home, and I give it to Rascal and send it to them.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea.
Oh, to the
To the
people who are
people
running?
who ran. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then the whole party's gonna go with Coward to investigate to see if someone's injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you follow a path of wanton devastation would be a slight exaggeration, but there are definitely overturned stalls, crates, and barrels, and even a small like wagon. Well, it's more of a wheelbarrow knocked over in the streets. There is a telltale path that this thing has carved. It leads towards the blacksmith's shop, the Bear's Arms, is where this trail begins, where you see Coward sort of standing, looking around, trying to find any clues.
Is there blood splattered anywhere?
Roll perception again,
Okay.
everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Nat.
Yeah.
Oh, not out front, but
Woo!
Double
Wow,
nat 20.
2.
Two nat 20s.
Thorin, you actually smell on the wind the telltale coppery scent of freshly shed blood, and follow it around to the back of the Bear's Arms, where a small shaded copse lay, and there is indeed a very small splattering of blood, still wet, still fresh, in the middle of the trees, and some webbing.
Can I look around for spider sacrifice evidence?
Yes,
Yeah, okay. Would that be an investigation?
investigation.
I don't do great.
Other than the blood splatter, which is like in the grass slash dirt, not much.
I'd like to also look around.
I'll say that it's not right nearby. But as you sort of expand the circle of your search a little bit, you do start to find a couple pieces of disturbed, like brush and branches that lead, after a short bit, to what would it, like, drag marks? I guess it would be.
Disturbed
Like-
ground in a roughly
Body shaped?
straight fashion.
No.
Claws?
Nope. Actually, they do seem to be somewhat familiar drag marks. Anyone, roll me a flat intelligence. The specific, like, markings of these drag marks are a particular width across and have a 3-foot wide area, and then there are these two divoted markings that are deeper down that remind you of the drag marks you saw from the sleds being pulled around in the gravel parts of the cave.
Oh, so someone had a likely was
Like
going.
them-
Well, using a sled to transport something.
Can we follow? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes, so the drag marks go in two directions, one leading south, one leading north.
Let's see.
we gotta pick
The
which
mine
way it
was to the
went.
north, right?
Yep.
So let's go south.
Yeah.
Wait, what was to the south?
Okay.
Basically the whole rest of the town. Most of the major buildings, including the Bear's Arms, are roughly in the center of town, and then the graveyard was to the south. And this was a minor continuity error. I said the farm was to the south in the first session, but it is actually to the east.
Yeah, you said that last
not.
session.
Yeah, I hadn't made a concrete map yet, but I have now.
Okay,
so
it's fine. It's
continuity
fine.
error. And then to the north is the crawling cave, and to the and along the western edge, although it is still fairly close to the center, is the Temple of Harmony. And then, as I
Whatever.
said, the Bear's Arms and the general store and everything else are sort
Okay.
of crowded in that same area.
So, okay. So these are heading. Let's
Oh.
go follow them to the south because they probably came from the
Well-
mine.
They maybe did, but there's also people going missing in the graveyard, and the south.
Yeah.
The graveyard is south. The
I'm a
spiders
little-
are stealing people.
I'm a little spent on magic is the issue.
This trail's gonna be here in the morning. We need to regroup with the rest of the villagers, make sure everyone's
I
accounted
disagree.
for.
Someone may still be injured.
That's
Then
what
you
I'm
go
saying.
find them.
No. First, we need to do a head count. See who is
Yes.
missing.
Well, we don't. The issue is that everyone just ran off. We need to wait and get everyone to come back.
Does
But-
it
so
seem
what
like
we
someone
s-
was possibly brought to
OC.
the sled?
Why don't you just go look for anyone that needs help, OC?
All right. I will. He heads along this southern path through the it's through a like slightly wooded area, and then it emerges onto a dirt path that he follows for a while. And I'm guessing y'all are like headed back to the main road to catch everyone else as they're coming back into town.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess, yeah.
Sure.
All right. One of the first figures that comes
Oh, there
back
it is.
is, in fact, Rosemary, who is like clutching her pearls and out of breath and looks extremely frightened.
Oh,
And it's like-
jeez.
Rosemary, are you all right?
No, it was a fucking spider, the size of a goddamn dinner plate.
I've seen bigger.
Don't worry. We have defeated the beast.
Yeah, I saw it, but it almost
Don't-
bit me. It just,
Oh,
Oof.
it just showed up in the back of my shop. I was closing up for the night, and it was just there waiting for me.
do you remember any strange people,
Unsettling.
like out of town people, coming into your shop?
Other than y'all, no, not really. There was, the farmer came through and said he needed one of his sickles resharpened, which is fairly, happens a lot, and, one of the hunters needed some arrows refletched. I'm trying to think if there was anyone else, but
Hmm.
you
Anyone
were,
strange?
no, just my usual customers, the hunters, the
Insight
farmer.
check.
Okay.
Why would she lie?
Why
Well,
wouldn't she?
anyone strange except for, Flowseal here.
She's
Hmm.
very shaken up, but she does not seem to be like she's not lying. She doesn't seem to be in a mental state to be making anything up right now.
Yeah. I mean, it could be somebody from the town fucking things up.
That's fair, but, well, it should be taken care of now. Everyone here?
Another question. Have you seen Gwyn?
Old Coward begins to walk. You see him walking down the road back from actually the chapel, or well,
Oh,
the
good for him.
Temple of Harmony.
Whatever.
He finally has his he's had his great sword like out and ready for combat this entire time. It is finally sheathed, and he looks very downcast.
Aw.
What happened?
I'm afraid someone has been killed.
Hmm.
Not even Father Paul was able to. I'm sorry. I'm going to retire for the night. Um,
Who was it, coward?
we don't know. The body was encased in webbing and, well,
Dust by the time you
Mm.
broke it open?
skin and bones.
Well, I
What
send
size
Father
was it,
Paul my
approximately?
condolences, but at the very least we could maybe
Um,
perform a speaking dead ritual.
R Rose, Rosemary, we found that missing sled that you reported as well. It, it was used to transport the victim. Rosemary, like, freezes.
Wait, hold on.
Who
My,
who died?
my, what? I, my, I don't, what do you, eh,
Can we see the victim?
excuse me. She, Rosemary begins to shuffle off in the vague direction of where Thorin, you would know her house is. And yeah, Coward sighs and gestures you all towards the Temple of Harmony.
Okay, let's take a look at this.
Oh boy.
In front of the temple, cut open with a large gash, is a silken cocoon with several bones poking out of it, with Father Paul standing over on the sidelines, his hands grasped tightly beneath his robes. And there, next to that, or well, below the cocoon, is the sled covered in red and brown stains.
Oh.
Hmm.
Large pierce marks are evident near where the corpse's neck would have been.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I have two. Is the head intact? Ish,
Uh,
not like is it intact enough? Not like crushed and gone.
yeah, there's definitely a skull with some skin over it.
Ooh.
Mouth fairly intact.
Yes.
Enough. Okay. Okay. Second question: is there any sand?
There is plenty of that sandy dust spilling out along with the bones.
Okay, that is concerning. Father Paul,
Uh, yes.
not to be grotesque, but would you happen to know the spell Speak with Dead?
Um, yes, well, I suppose I could.
That would be best at the very to know what happened and to
Identify.
identify. Yes, that was my thought. The victim's family should be notified, and so they can have a proper burial.
Yes, of, of course. I must. I will get some incense from the temple.
What size is the body, approximately?
He stands from his slumped position next to the wall of the temple and heads inside. And Thorin, you crouch down. It is about 4 feet long.
Mm.
Hmm.
Can I make a medicine check?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what type of creature it may be, whether it be
Mhm.
child or someone that's just shorter.
Mm.
I have no fucking clue.
Is bones.
I would also be checking this type of thing right now, and
Yeah.
then also looking for any like jewelry or something too that might signify who they are.
If
Since I've been around and could kind of maybe try to put it together that way from who I've seen around.
Sure. Where on the body would you be looking?
I'm checking like the hands and neck for like the jewelry you'd be able to see.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Thorin,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of ring does your wife wear?
knew this was
Oh.
coming.
That's what I immediately thought.
I immediately thought it was Thorin's kid.
Right? That would have been even worse.
This was too fresh for that. The kid's been missing for a while.
They don't necessarily kill him right away.
True, but
Mm.
Thorin just gets down on his knees and just bends over, starts crying over.
Father Paul returns from the church, hands shaking and stained red with the incense.
I put my hand out to signify him to stop.
Oh,
There's no need, Father.
Oh.
We
Not,
know.
not entirely
gonna-
true.
We might still be able to get something,
Information.
but we,
Can I give?
but I
Can
know
I give
who it
Thorin
is.
Can I give Thorin a hug?
Thorin just kind of still just sits there, not really acknowledging.
It's like a half hug from like the
Mm.
side.
So do we want to still do the speak with dead?
I personally am gonna step away.
Father
we need
Paul
to put a
is
stop
going
to this stuff.
Oh.
You have my permission, Father.
Okay. He will lay a hand on your shoulder and, with a shaky breath, say, I'm very sorry. I will do what I can. And he begins the ritual, and morbidly, the corpse begins to shift and animate within the webby bindings as Father Paul stands with you, Thorin, and there are no eyes left. They have turned to dust, and the only sound it makes is a slight whisper as it begins to speak. And Father Paul asks, "What should I? Well,
Hmm.
who is responsible for
Yeah,
your
so it should be.
demise?" He asks. And the corpse shifts its face within the confines of the cocoon, back and forth slightly, looking as if looking around, though it has no eyes, before looking in the direction of you, Thorin, and barely audible in just a whisper in Dwarvish, she says, "Trusted you." And then the entire body collapses to dust.
That's not how that
But what
spell
the
works.
hell?
Father Paul looks incredibly shaken and pale, and says, the, the, the body was so fragile. He turns to the
Hypocrite.
side and vomits.
Oh God.
By the way, would Thorin
Jesus.
know how that spell works, just not that able to use it as well?
Yeah.
So would be able to figure out something that was wrong, that it didn't work correctly.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I think we got a death curse on our hands.
No, that kind of. The type of magic that Speak with the Dead does, it's
Something.
not.
We got something that overrides that type of magic.
It's not like that. It doesn't
Uh,
actually bring them back to life. It is a slight animation.
Yes, it does not restore the soul. It just makes the body move. I mm, I think the movement may have caused it to collapse.
Whatever that was, that's unnerving. It should not have failed. It's confusing me.
I must retire for the night. I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. of
Father
course.
Paul is going to stumble away.
Yeah, take care of yourself, man.
Old Coward is going to
What did
relay
I tell you? It's a
what
death
what
curse.
happened while you weren't there, by the way. Just real quick. Um, when we found the body on the sled, it was tucked in the bushes over there, and he points to where the drag marks are obviously from. I called to Father Paul and brought him out of his church. The sled was drenched in blood, and dragging it back so that he could, well, dragging it out here in the open where he could attempt to, I don't know, heal it. We weren't thinking very clearly. Our hands got, he shows his own hands, which are also similarly stained red, rather coated in the blood. I used my great sword to attempt to free the body, but then we discovered it was no longer living and beyond his help.
Well,
Hmm.
bringing something back from the dead is a truly tremendous task.
Okay.
How about we all get a rest for the night?
I go back to the inn, right? That's where we're staying at.
Yes, you are all staying for free in the Knight's Rest Inn, the inn that Old Coward owns. It is
Okay.
also a tavern.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone
Thorin's
sleep
going
that
to
off.
be out there for a while.
Yeah, I figured.
He's probably actually deliberately not going to bed till way past actual due time. But before he falls asleep, he takes the ring.
All right. So level up.
Are
Yay.
you gonna let us?
There is actually one more thing I'd like to do before bed.
Okay.
I want to identify that dagger.
Oh yeah. I will show that to everyone. It is a curved, rust-colored blade, lashed to a standard dagger grip. Requires attunement. Attunement is broken if creature does not touch the weapon for 6 hours. Before an attuned creature would make an attack roll with this weapon, it can declare a number other than 1 or 20. If the number they declared is rolled before modifiers, it is counted as a critical hit. Other than that, it uses the stats for a regular dagger.
I'm not a fan of that name.
This has been Coward's Call.
Mm.
Next time, we shall continue the adventure.